Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday Fun Day. Um, I just had a very interesting phone call um, with a good friend of mine who we like to call the old trout. Very, very good friend of mine who is a first responder. Um, and he reminded me, because we were talking about this incident with the RCMP and what's going on in Nova Scotia with this madman. And and the old trout happens to remind me. He's like, Cam, you know her, and I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, you were you met her at my wedding, um, and it almost made me sick thinking about it because obviously I'd forgotten. You run. This is years ago, and you run into all kinds of people. But soon as he said that, the sickness to my stomach, um, like it felt like I just dropped, and uh, just all these memories rushing back into my head. And Heidi was a very, very good human being, and her husband. Um, Great people, great human beings. Um, like it's not that often like you meet people for the first time. I've met them once. And for someone, when you meet somebody one time and they leave an impression on you, uh, that's pretty special in my books. And just thinking back, uh, I just had to get on and get all these thoughts out of my head because like my mind's racing now, and part of my recovery, getting back with my mental illness, I gotta get shit out. I gotta get shit out. So I just want to make this video. It's not the happiest one in the world, um, but I just want everybody to take a minute right now, like 1 minute. Just pause for a second, turn the noise off, and think about this. Our first responders are human beings just like you and I. Just like you and I. I know so many police officers, fire, ambulance, doctors, nurses. I know a lot of people. And they are people. Growing up with lots of these guys, I know these people struggle with everything you and I do. Everything. They have the same struggles as we all do. But the key here is think about this when you're going to your job, whenever we get back to work, and you're grabbing your shit and you're rushing out of the house without eating, rushing out with saying bye to your wife or kids or family, whatever your situation is. You're rushing out the door to get to work. Uh, think about you getting to your job that 99% of the population hates. So imagine you're there, for example, sitting at your office chair, working for this big corporation that doesn't give a shit about you, but you will rush and do everything you can to get out of the house, speed to work, cut people off, be an asshole. And you get to that job for a company that doesn't give a fuck about you and replace you in a second. Think about you possibly, just while doing your job, may not make it home to see your family every single time you go to work. Just pause and think about that for a second. You're sitting at your desk doing God knows what for these jackass corporations. Um, just think about if everybody was there yelling at you, calling you pig, blah, 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 potentially threaten you, potentially shoot at you like we've seen today. Uh, Think of what you doing your job that everybody hated you for doing your job. Think about that for a second. Think about that right now. Our first responders do the job that 99.9% of the population won't do or unable to do. Think about that. Every time you go to work, you could potentially not come home. So put yourself in their shoes for a minute. Just just think about that. Like my heart is breaking right now, although I've only spent what 7, 8 hours and getting smashed at a wedding with these people, but they left an impression on me. And 2.5 years from retirement, from a job that every day you go to work, everybody hates you. You could potentially get killed. Think about that. Let that put that into perspective for a second. All these first responders run towards the trouble when 99.9% of the population is running the other way with not a fucking thought in their head other than me, 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 me. So rest in peace, Heidi. God love you. You're a great human being. I was so happy to have met you. Um, I'm so thankful for what you do. And all the first responders out there, thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing what you do. I I uh, I just have the utmost respect for everything you do. And in times like this, you guys are the stars that shine. And just remind all of us what's important, who's important. It's tough. It's tough, and it really makes me think, and it really makes me appreciate the job these people do. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. I've sufficiently emptied my noggin of my racing thoughts. So sorry this was a long one, but everybody stay safe. Camera loves you.